Welcome to the Narrative Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Gerald Tab, coming to you straight out of Detroit, Michigan. Let me give you a backstory. I'm a blue-collar worker turned full-time rideshare driver, and I started this podcast to build something real, a voice, a brand, and a purpose. This show is all about pushing through the noise and staying locked in on what matters. Here on the Relentless Mindset, I share motivational stories, powerful perspectives, and the mindset that keeps me grinding every single day. You hear motivation narratives 7 days a week, along with real reflections on life, struggle, purpose, and how to keep moving forward no matter what. So buckle up and come along for the ride. If the content hits home, be sure to subscribe, download, and share it with someone who needs a little inspiration or a new way of thinking. And if you got a story worth telling, drop it in the comments. I just might bring your narrative to life on a future episode. This story is called The Pressure That Made This Version of Me. This passage tells the story of someone who has transformed adversity into strength. Rather than viewing pressure as a threat or a curse, they embraced it as the force that shapes resilience and character. The narrative centers on the idea that enduring hardship forges inner power. Pressure becomes not an enemy, but an ally in the process of growth. The speaker encourages a mindset that welcomes challenges, suggesting that greatness is built not in comfort, but in the crucible of difficulty. The relentless mindset is about standing strong amid trials, allowing pressure to awaken deeper capacities, and persisting on the path of self-becoming. Pressure that made this version of me. The hum. It's always the hum. Even now, long after the deadline splintered into thin air, a fine dust, a memory of frantic keystrokes and the taste of stale coffee on a dry tongue. The city outside my window, a smudged canvas of pre-dawn gray, not quite awake, just like me, or rather, me too awake, mind buzzing, a residual current from the voltage of the past year, past decade. Pressure, that's it. A word, a weight, a chisel. This version of me, the one sitting here, watching the light creeping in, the one who navigated jagged rocks, forged alliances from thin air, built structures that were called impossible, or at least improbable. This one wasn't born from ease, not from comfort. No, it was a crucible. Every soul-crushing, gut-wrenching moment, fire and friction, that's what built me. I remember the first time it truly felt it. Not just the sting of a missed question on a test, but dread, deep bone-level dread. 6th grade, science fair. happier matte volcano, painted bright red and black. A childhood project, but it felt like the universe. My father, meticulous, quiet, looked at it once and said, "Alex, first impressions last." This could set a precedent. President, a word too big for 12, but it landed. Suddenly, it wasn't fun anymore. It was performance. It was declaration. And the tremble in my hands, that wasn't excitement. That was anxiety. The first kind. The kind that digs in and stays. The volcano burped, fizzed. I got an A, and with it, relief. Like air being underwater too long. Lesson learned. Perform. Achieve. Then pressure recedes. A cycle. Addictive. Dangerous. High school game. Scholarships. Standards. Most of them my own. It wasn't just about winning. It was about how I won. The right way. The perfect way. Other kids partied. I drafted futures. Meticulous naval charts. Every grade, every move. A line in the war map. My identity. It fused to the output, to the performance. To never miss, never fail momentum. Was I happy? Didn't ask. Didn't matter. I was progressing. And progress in that world was its own drug. Then came university. The grind got louder. The pressure less visible, more lethal. Be well-rounded. Be impressive. Be everything. Everywhere. All at once. Classes. Job. Committees. Volunteering. All of it. I stretched so thin I could feel light pass through me. I'd look at peers. Effortless jugglers. Or so it seemed. And wonder, why is this heavier for me? Am I weak? Am I broken? No. Same pressure, different response. I wasn't letting it define me. One night, blank page, thesis due, 48 hours. My mind just stopped. Empty. Frozen. Panic. Like drowning on dry land. I couldn't fail. That was the story. Failure wasn't a detour. It was annihilation. And then, click. Tiny. Internal. The problem wasn't pressure. It was the story I told myself about what it meant. I walked, ran, anything to move the static, burned it off on pavement, and when I came back, the page wasn't blank. Not perfect, but alive, mine. That was the crack. The first fracture in old framework. Pressure didn't disappear, but it stopped letting it own me. Then came the career. Deadlines, layoffs, pivots, innovation cycles tighter than drum skins, always proving, always earning. The hum got quieter, but never left. I learned to surf it, ride it like a wave, stop resisting, start directing. There were nights, whole weeks, where I nearly folded, system crashes, team betrayals, all-nighters that tasted like copper and exhaustion. But always, right when I thought I'd break, something deeper kicked in. Same voice, calm, steady. This is it. This is what you're made for. And I'd move, not with fire, with focus. Cool, sharp, deliberate. I found solutions not in brilliance, but in stamina, in staying when others fled, in seeing when others blinked. That's when I understood. Pressure doesn't just test you, it reveals you, it refines you, but it only works if you work with it. I stopped chasing applause, started seeking alignment. Me, why? Not theirs. And with it, boundaries, rest, reflection, discipline that wasn't punishment, but preservation. Now I can tell the difference. Productive pressure, it's the sculptor's hand. It sharpens, shapes, elevates. Destructive pressure, that's poison in the chalice. It flatters you right before it crushes you. So I got smarter, sharper, still relentless. But now I know when to stop, when to breathe, when to fight, and when to just be. The city's waking now. Orange light on wet concrete. The inbox waits. The meeting's cue. The day begins. And the hum, still there. But now it's not a threat. It's not a curse. It's a reminder. I'm not broken. I'm built. Not by ease, but by pressure. And I wouldn't trade that forge for anything. You want the truth? Pressure doesn't care who you are, but it'll show you. It'll shape you. And if you let it, it'll make you. The hum you fear is not fear. It's the sound of capacity waking you up. Most people run from pressure, but we walk into it. We stand inside it. We build inside it. Because this is where the real ones are made. This is the relentless mindset. Until next time, keep going, keep carving, keep becoming.